So in my last video, I talked about 5 things that I disliked about being a travel influencer or a content creator, but I would like to share the brighter side of that. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining me. Hello, I am Rachel. I am a retired travel influencer who's been to over 70 countries in the world. And while I am since retired from the traditional sense of a content creator, I do want to share 5 reasons why I absolutely loved living out my wildest dreams as a content creator slash travel influencer slash travel blogger. In a previous video, I shared that I quit my good job in order to travel the world. So the moment that I knew that this was a possibility for me is I happened to be backpacking through Southeast Asia. I ended up in the Philippines. The long story short, I emailed the owner of a hotel and he happened to see my travel blog and my signature. He asked me, could he pay me to write a review of his boutique hotel? And that was the moment I knew I could make money from traveling, from sharing my perspective, from sharing my reviews or my view. And so that was definitely the first thing that changed the game for me, and that I love is that I can actually get paid to be me. Now, at the time when I felt this way, and let me remind you, at the time of recording this is almost over 8 years ago. So being a paid or full-time content creator really wasn't a thing. And while I didn't intend for it to become a lifestyle or career at the time, the idea that I could get paid from it was amazing. Now, I will say too, because it wasn't real, there was a lot of pressure from my family, from my friends, from society on, obviously, how are you going to pay your bills doing this? What about retirement? What about your real job? Like, what are you going to do? So while I did hear a lot of that, I'm glad that I decided to listen to myself. And, it ended up working out that I was able to survive. I'm still here, and made a living from it for the most part. But we'll talk about that in another video. And as I begin to share my stories, as time would go on, I would share my content on Instagram and, share the articles that I would write. I began to create these amazing connections with people from all around the world, and obviously, create a path for myself that opened up tons of opportunities. So with that being said, let's hop into the 5 reasons why I absolutely loved being a travel influencer at the time. Point number 1 is pretty obvious, right? Getting paid or getting sponsored to go to amazing and unique destinations. I mean, as a content creator at the time, or travel influencer at the time, I got the opportunity to go to incredible places that I probably wouldn't have gone to, maybe eventually, but not at the time and at the speed. I mean, I have had the opportunity to go to Finland. I have had the opportunity to go to Guadeloupe, 5-star luxury experience in Phuket, Thailand. I mean, it was amazing. So definitely number 1 is enjoying incredible, unique destinations, unique landmarks, world wonders, and being able to share my perspective and how I am experiencing that destination through the lens of a young Black woman. This brings me to point number 2, is that I felt really amazing and really free to be able to share my perspective from my own authentic voice. When I knew that becoming a content creator was a thing, I was really honored to be able to share a perspective that I didn't see a lot of at the time. As fast forward, and this is also back during the Black travel movement, but at the time there just wasn't a lot of Black content creators in an abundance as it is now, especially from the different lens of what a Black person is. We know that we're not a monolith, right? So I say all that to say, being able to share from my voice, from my perspective, was something that I loved, especially coming from a world and a society in corporate America where I felt really stifled. So definitely sharing my authentic voice. Point number 3 is that I have made amazing friendships, amazing connections. I have created amazing opportunities just by sharing my voice and being a content creator. I have been so lucky to, create long-lasting friendships with people all over the world that I still talk to. I was actually laughing with my brother about this recently, where I was saying that I could literally be having conversations with several people in different countries, different time zones at one time. And you know how lucky and how cool it is for me to have such a diverse network of people just by sharing and just being online. So that was definitely point number 3, is the amazing friends and connections that I have created for myself. Point number 4 is a bit on the personal side, but I will say what I loved about being a content creator is how traveling to these different destinations, making these amazing connections, building different relationships really helped shift my mindset around how I think about my life, my lifestyle, what I think happiness is, what success looks like, how I feel about religion, how I feel about politics, socioeconomics. It really helped shape me into an individual that I think more critically, more analytically, and definitely try to be less judgmental. So I think being a content creator definitely helped from a personal perspective, broaden my horizons in way more areas than travel, but in personal aspects as well. Point number 5 is that being a content creator really allowed me to learn how to be creative. And as a person, I'm not really big into zodiacs, but I'm a Virgo, so apparently I'm a little rigid and very organized for sure. But being a content creator allowed me to explore creativity, learning videography and photography and how to write and how to express my thoughts and how to listen, was again something that I didn't go into being a content creator seeking, but it's something that I really loved about myself. I loved, expanding in different skills that it took to be a content creator. So that's definitely a point number 5. Of course, as you saw in the first video or part 1 of this video, it came with its challenges being a content creator, but the challenges obviously outweighed the benefits or the things that I loved about it, way past travel, but more so from a personal perspective and a growth perspective. And so while I am not, a content creator full time, and I've moved into a different chapter in my life, as far as content creation is concerned, I am so grateful that I had this opportunity to be able to travel and to share perspectives and still being able to come back, X amount of years later, and still share these experiences and these stories with you. If there is one thing that I would want you to take away from this video, is that being a content creator and a travel influencer is way more than PR packages and press trips and social media validations, likes, and all of these things. It will allow you to stretch yourself in way more areas than you thought were possible. Again, from skills, from creating connections and building relationships with people who may believe something completely different from you. So I'm here just to encourage you to share your authentic story and get out of any experience more than just what you can get from it from a physical perspective, or again, from very surface, shallow perspectives. But how can this experience allow you to grow? If you enjoyed this video or videos like this from the perspective of a retired travel influencer, I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to have you in the community so we can share more travel stories. I can share more insights and just give you my perspective from the other side. So until the next time, I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video.